Hey guys, welcome back. This is video number 2. In this video we are going to go over talents. What I mean by that is fishing and mining, so on and so on, but for now we're going to go over fishing and mining and hopefully crafting, or maybe I'll put that into a different video. What I mean by that is when you use your talents such as fishing, when you fish you are going to get some fish, and what you can do with that is cook it perhaps, and that right there would be crafting. Or when you mine you get some ore and you make some armor out of that. It's completely up to you, but I'm going to show you how to do something like that. So what I have here is the scene that we ended with on the last video. I did a few things and I'll tell you what I did now. I imported the new model of the mage that I hopefully put on the forum site. I also imported the fishing rod that I put up there in the future, hopefully I did, and the pickaxe. What I did, I made those into items. Now in this video I assume that you know how to make items. I can maybe make another video for that if needed. But so I set those as items. I did a few things to the character. Excuse me while I get a drink real quick. I might do that a couple times throughout the video. So, let's drag that in there, or actually, what you'll need to do is go to your actors, go to player manager and switch, just drag the new model up here so that when you hit play, the new model comes out and not the old one, so you have those animations that I have added to it. And since I already set the items up, you're going to need to do that, but then when you're done with that, just drag them on out here. We're going to want to drag our player back out and add these. We're going to add an item bag and equipment slot component. So we're just going to go here, item system, item bag and equipment slot. Now I already did that. So what I also did was, if we go here, expand him, spine, chest, on the right hand I add an equip slot, which is this. It's just an empty game object. You place it exactly where you want it, which is going to be around right there. And you're going to need to make a tag by hitting add tag. Before your thing you need equip slot, and then you need your equipment slot, weapon hand. You set up your equip slots by going to item, equip slots, hitting the plus button, typing it in right there. It's simple as that. So you're going to set that up with the tag equip slot weapon hand on your items. On the item script, you need to do can be equipped to slot, that slot that you just made. Now I chose weapon hand because, if I'm not mistaken, I mean I haven't messed around with it in quite a while, but that's what the sample UI uses, is weapon hand. So when I hit play, since my player does have, you know what, gotta get rid of that. Since he does have a bag and equip slots, we should be able to at least pick it up. And that works. So now let's do a few tests with that. We're going to go to our logic, open up iBlocks, add a new event on update, because what we're going to do now is we're going to check to see if the character presses a button. It's going to equip our item. We're not going to check to see if it's in a bag because we are just testing here. So flow if character, or input rather, we're going to see if we press down button 1, then we're going to equip that item. So go to item, equip item, select the item. We're going to go with fishing rod, to slot weapon hand, which we just created, to our player. And let's see if that works. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to press button 1, and it is in our hand. Cool. So let's go even further into that. We're going to open up our logic, copy and paste this to see if he presses 2, we're going to play an animation with which I added onto the model. So it's going to be called metarig fish. Copy and paste that and test that. So when we press 1, it's going to equip it. When we hit 2, it's going to play the animation. So when you walk forward and left and right and backwards, it's going to be stuck on that animation. I'm not sure if this is a bug or something that I am doing wrong. I just found out that when you hit jump, it resets it back to this. So maybe you guys can correct me if I'm doing something wrong, or that's going to be a bug. So we'll undo that, and since we know that that works, let's just do the exact same thing for our pickaxe. So let's copy and paste that down. Switch this out to button 3 and 4. Switch this to pickaxe. It's going to be in the same slot, but we're going to play a different animation called mine. Now, all should work exactly like we want it to. Let's do 3. It's going to equip the pickaxe. 4. It's going to play that animation. Alright, so now what we do. We're going to need something to hit, such as we'll do mining and we'll go with some ore. So let's add a new game object, or you know what, we can use one of these cubes. So go to environment cube, just to know that it's the one. We're going to move it over here. We can rename it so we know it's the one in our hierarchy to ore. Let's add a plybox component to it by going to add component, plyGame, plybox. Open that up. Now I have something on the forum site, on the Common RPG Things thread. It's called a harvest system, and it tells you exactly what to do, and we're going to do exactly that. It's quite useful for things like this. So let's do it. On start, we're going to set a local variable resource to a certain number that we specify. So we're going to add a state, add an event, on start, set that variable. Let's name it resource. It's not spelled correctly. Let's put it to a number by going under common, values, integer, 100. Now let's add another event on interact. So object on interact. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to check to see if the character knows a skill, and then we're going to play an animation, add some copies of an item, which in our case is going to be ore, to our bag, and then we're going to subtract that number from the resource amount. So what I've done here is added a skill called mine, just set it here to passive, and that is all I did. We can go ahead and I'll show you how to do that, because I need to add fish. So we'll add fish. This is what it's going to look like. You just change activation from user to passive, and we are good there. So let's check if he knows that skill by flow if character skill known. If he knows the skill, mine. And you can see here that character is the game object of the character that started interacting with this object, and that is a temporary game object. So we'll go here, get temp game object, type in character correctly. So if he knows the skill, we are going to play an animation, and it is called metarig mine on this guy. We are going to add some copies to his bag, so item, bag, add to bag. The currency add to bag and bag add to bag is different, so if you do that one, you're going to get the wrong thing. And we don't have ore right now. Since we're mining, you would get ore. But what we do have is a fishing rod. So when he mines, let's give him a fishing rod, because that's all we can do right now. So let's copy and paste that down, and then we're going to set that variable resource, and we're going to subtract 10 from it. So we're going to go to math, float a minus b, back to variables, local variable, resource. We need to type that in here as well. Common float minus, let's just go with 10 to make the numbers easy, since we started out with 100. Subtract 10 every time. It's fairly easy. So if he knows the skill, we're going to play the animation, we're going to add some copies of an item to his bag, and we're going to subtract this number by 10. Let's see if that works. Actually, I have to show you this. On my item here, I added plybox component and added 2 events, on equip item and on unequip item. When you equip the item, it's going to give the owner of the item a skill, which is mine, so I'll show you how to do that by going the character, give skill, and as you can see here, the owner is the owner of the slot the item was equipped to, which is going to be the player in our case. So go to variable, get that temporary game object, give it the name owner, and give him the skill mine. Cool. So since I have 2, I don't need the second one. But on unequip item, you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to remove the skill. So when I equip it, he should know the skill and interact with it. It should do what we want. Now I think I forgot to add an on interact object to the OR. Yes, I did. Add component, plyGame, objects, interact object. Gonna get another drink here. So let's go over here, equip the item so we know the skill. Right click this guy. Not getting that to work right now, but that's okay. We can remove that. Go back to our plybox. We're going to do it another way. That's the cool thing about this is you can do it many different ways. So we're going to open this up, copy all this, make sure I copied it, delete that event, and this event here does almost the same thing, on mouse down. We're going to paste that in here, but it doesn't send these temporary variables, so we're going to have to get rid of these, and since we know that it's going to be the player doing it, we can just replace it with player. But we're going to need another thing, because that's from anywhere. If the mouse goes down on that object, it is going to do that, but we want him to be rather close to it so that he can actually mine it. So we're going to check for another thing. If, and we're going to go less than, let's go to object, or let's go to math, vector3, distance, get rid of these, we do not need that, go to object, get position of the player, and self is less than, and we're going to go to common values, integer, let's just go with 2. Then we'll cut that and paste that inside of there. So here's the rundown on that. If the player and the game object is less than 2, and if the player knows the skill, we're going to play the animation, we're going to add some copies, and we're going to subtract from this variable. Hopefully that works. So let's go here to see that it's working. Item bag, there's nothing in it. When you click it, it's not going to do anything because we are too far away, which is what we want. Actually, it's not going to do anything because we didn't know the skill. So click it, and it still doesn't do anything because we are not close enough, which is what we want. Now we should be close enough. We click it, it plays the animation. It gets stuck because of that thing that I cannot figure out. Item bag, and you can see that it added fishing rod to our item bag. And there we go, we have done that. Fishing would be the exact same thing. I'm sure you guys don't want to see me do the exact same thing again, or maybe you do, but now let's go to crafting. So with this, we don't have ore, do we? We have a fishing rod. Alright, I'll just go over fishing with you, and then I'll add another video for crafting. So let's just grab another cube here. I don't know how to do this art work here. Let's make it look like a pond somehow. There, that should be good enough. Move it over here. Let's rename it in the hierarchy so we know which one it is. Pond. And on our item, we're going to have to do exactly what we did with the pickaxe by giving him the skills. So we're going to add a component, plybox component, open that up, and it's an item, so plyRPG, item, on equip item, and on unequip item. On equip item, we're going to give him a skill. We have to set that skill up first, so let's do that. Skills. Oh, we already did that actually. I remembered us doing that, so let's give him the skill. Character, give skill. Let's add that temp var, game object, owner, the skill fish. We can do the same thing here, except we're going to remove it. So character, remove skill fish from this guy right here. And anytime you mess with an item in your hierarchy, you're going to have to apply it to the prefab by clicking the apply button in the inspector. So that should work. Let's find out. Easy way to find out, since we have that hard-coded button of action 1, picking up the fishing rod. Now that it's equipped, we should have that skill. So we can go to player, go to the actor, known skills, which is not there. It's going to be on here. Yeah, it is. Known skills, fish. Sweet, so we have that working. Now we just need to set up this pond right here. We're going to add plybox component, open plybox, state, event, input, on mouse down. Going to do the same thing, check if it's a certain distance away. Less than math, distance, object, get position of the player and the pond. Check if it's less than 2. Integer 2. And we're going to see if the character knows the skill. So skill known, character, player, fish. This time it's going to be fish. We're going to play an animation. It's going to be metarig fish on the player. And that's all we'll do for now, since we do know that it's going to work if we add an item to the bag when we do this and we subtract from a variable resource, which we don't have set up right now, but that's okay because I know you know how to do that because I just showed you. So let's hit play. We don't have the skill right now, so when we click on it, it shouldn't do anything. When we do know the skill by equipping that, when we click on it, it shouldn't do anything if we're too far away. And if we are close enough and we click on it, it should play the animation. And let's find out what is going wrong there. Let's see if it's even. We did see that we know the skill, so we're going to open this up. If the distance between the player and itself is less than or equal to 2, and if the player knows the skill fish, we're going to play this. So let's add Let's add this here. See if the distance is good. See if the player knows fish. And see if the animation worked. Let's see if he even clicked the object at all. So we should know the skill. Let's see if we know the skill. By simply getting here. He knows the skill. Click it. It's clicked. The distance isn't good, so click. Was the distance good? Distance was not good, so might have had a problem there. Go to our pond. Open plybox. Maybe it's the fact that it was less than or equal to, because I know that works because we just did it. So let's go to back the flow. If it's less than the distance of the objects of our player and the self is less than 2, there, so let's see, that really should work. That's cleared out. It's seeing that we clicked it. Gotta know the skill first. So we can click it. Not sure what the problem is here. Oh, look at that, the animation was not found. So I guess when you do it, you're gonna have to be somewhere around the middle here, because when I was clicking over here it wasn't working, and I typed the animation in wrong. So let's go here, MetaRig, that's what I did. Let's change that to that. Clear this out. Hit play. We're gonna hop inside of our pond. To do it, we're going to get our fishing rod and we are going to click on it. It's going to fish. Awesome, and it tells us here that we did in fact fish. So that is it for this tutorial. In the next one I'm going to go over crafting, which is going to be, we're going to be doing things with the fish or the ore that we got, and we're going to be turning them into weapons or armor, and it's actually quite simple. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you.